as we jump into this, let's let our viewers and our listeners know, who is Hud McWilliams? Tell us about your family. Tell us about your career. Who's the man, the myth, the legend?
Well, I'm old now. I'm almost 80. I'll be 80 this year. And I have 5 people in my family, 3 adult children that are married, 4 grandkids from my 2 daughters and 1 son. And then we grew up in Colorado. We live in Colorado. And I started my journey in terms of work as a college professor when I was age 23. So I didn't choose that. I didn't particularly wake up one day and say, I want to teach. But I morphed into that. So I was a professor for about 10, 15 years in both university and graduate school, and then wound up being in a seminary where I was an academic dean. And then I found myself later doing a counseling ministry, combined a church while I was on that church staff in a large metropolitan area. And then eventually I wound up being a senior pastor for about 10 years. And in the last 20, I've been a consultant to primarily pastors in numerous denominations, which is fascinating to me because the issues stay the same across denominations.
Interesting. Yeah. So you do the consulting with the clinical work as well?
That's right. The clinical work has been all through the 50 years or so I've been working. You know, people keep saying you should retire, and I think, I don't know what that means, so.
Yeah, and we've talked about the overarching message, theme, and focus of your life is twofold. It's grace and it's growth and development.
That's right.
And we're going to get a lot into those 2 concepts as we talk today, but just at a high level, unpack your emphasis and passion and desire for grace, growth, and development.
Well, why I think that's so important, not only is it grace that saves you, it's not even faith. Faith is the gift from God, it says in the verse. It says it's grace that saves you. Well, what grace is something that you can't generate. You don't have control over. So it's the meaningfulness of it is that it moves you toward your finiteness, toward humility, toward letting go of being in control. Grace anchors us, actually, if we will let it. And people that are gracious, that's who you want to be around. So often we're not that. And so I grew up hearing the word grace without seeing it applied. So my big heart's desire is to see that it's applied. What does grace applied mean? Well, it means that you're going to be gentle, and you're going to be humble, and you're going to be loving and kind and compassionate and forgiving and all that kind of stuff. And it's the stuff we long for, to be known and loved and forgiven and free with somebody, but we have trouble with that. And it's offensive to us because it takes away our ability to be in control. We're not God, and we still want to be. And so I just think that gets in the way all the time. And the growth and development side of it is, maybe a shortcut to this would be, if somebody asked me what I think heaven's going to be like, I think it's going to be unencumbered learning, unencumbered by sin, unable to exhaust knowledge of God through eternity.
Wow.
So we're going to keep learning, because learning is the thing that gives us joy. Learning is the thing that expands us. Learning is the thing that turns us on, that keeps us alive. Something new that I have to adapt to, that I have to discover, that I have to, a lot of people get defeated by it, like we joke about we need kids to do IT for us, et cetera. Yeah. But the bottom line is we're designed to grow, and we're designed to grow throughout our lifetime. I don't think it ever stops in any area of life. So this growth and development piece is really powerful, and I think most people arrest their development somewhere, stop their development, truncate their development, refuse to develop, quit. So I carried around in my Bible for a long time it was a little tag I cut out of some magazine, I think, and it said, died at 30, buried at 70.
Wow.
And it's a reminder that you can stop, But God's standing in front of you, calling you into the future, and He's the only one that inhabits tomorrow. And so, if you want to know about me, that would be probably the central focus of my whole life, whether I've been teaching or counseling or consulting or playing or whatever. It's how do you keep growing?
Yeah. Which I think is the question, and I think why I'm so excited about these conversations is to put in front of people tools and things that can start conversations around this idea. How do you start growing?
That's right.
Well, Hud, you wrote this book, and I've devoured this thing multiple times and scribbled all throughout its pages. The book is called The Discipline of Disturbance, and the subtitle is Stop Waiting for Life to Be Easy. Thanks for being here with me, and thanks for opening your life to so many people. I'm just convinced this is going to help a lot of people.
My joy.